Hangout, and we're in the great style here of the wonderful hotel on the Palm, the Jumeirah Sabil Sarai, as part of Dubai Music Week. It all got started yesterday, and we are in the company of music royalty. We have the 26th-time Grammy winner, and the producer of the most famous-selling album of all time, the dude himself. Let's hear it for Quincy Jones. Quincy, what was the airline experience coming into Dubai?
Well, I came off break. Away from I to 29. Just like the Toulouse A380.
Yeah.
The most incredible plane I've ever seen in my life. High definition television.
Yeah.
Vibrators, the seats rolling. Just beautiful women with great food and everything else.
You never want to get off
everything that no other airline has like.
Now we've got a whole bunch of friends who are joining us for this hangout with Quincy Jones. We're going to say hi to them all one by one. We've got Noura, who I know is in a rainy Beirut. Noura, welcome.
Hi.
Nice to see you. We've got Rami, who's with us. Rami, I believe, is in Cairo.
Yep. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good to see you, man. Mohammed, big hi to you. Big shout out, Mohammed. Indeed, we have Marwan, who's over here.
Hi.
Hi, Marwan. And Danny as well. Hi. Great to see you guys. Welcome to the show. We have the incredible Quincy Jones. We're going to go to Noura for our first question. What do you want to ask the dude himself, Quincy Jones? Off you go.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome to the Middle East, Quincy. My question to you is: you've basically worked with some of the most important and successful artists in music. How do you find new talent now in the music scene today?
How do what?
How do you find new talent in the music scene today? How do you look for new
stars?
Listen,
the same way as you did before. All you can do is hear it. You can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it. You listen.
Okay.
And you either, it's I think a subconscious reaction, you don't think about it, you just feel it. It's a melody, the voice of God.
Indeed,
I'm totally convinced of that.
Yeah.
And if people have it, if they have the right, they know how to sing in tune, they know how to swing, they know how to make you believe. I work with the people that demonstrate all that. Ray Charles and Sinatra and Ella, Sarah, Michael, everybody.
They all want to work with Quincy Jones.
But they all have something different. They're all individual. People ask me, your favorite. It's impossible to name your favorite with all those people.
Indeed.
Sarah Vaughan and Billie Holiday. Give me a favorite. Aretha, Ray Charles.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're going to discover the new generation. But let's go now to Rami, who I know has got another question for you. Rami, you're live with Quincy Jones on our Hangout. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, Quincy. I wanted to ask you, what has been the biggest change in music production and distribution from when you started till now?
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
If you don't know anything about music, Pro Tools will make you work for it. And if you know music, Pro Tools will work for you.
So is it easier now with all this new technology to make music?
No.
No.
You have to know that inside yourself.
Right.
These tools, they implement your task of delivering the music and so forth. But it can't replace the invention.
Right.
It can't do that. And they facilitate it.
Yeah.
Everything else. And I'm familiar with all of the technology. All of them.
Yeah, right. Let's go now to Marwan, who I know is itching to ask Quincy Jones a question here at Music Week. Go live.
Yeah, Mr. Jones. First of all, I'm a huge fan of all your work, and especially work in jazz. And I was wondering if you have any upcoming jazz projects.
Yes, we do. We have one coming out next week with Alfredo Rodriguez. He's a Cuban piano player I met at 20. He's 27 now, and I would say he's one of the best pianists on the planet.
Wow.
Bar none. Well, he is. This man practices 14 hours a day. And see, that's the thing you got to understand. Yeah. Pro Tools will not substitute for work.
Absolutely.
God gives you talent, and you'll get back to God is to work on it's left and right brain, right?
Yeah.
Of the emotional part of it, you don't have to work at that comes naturally. But you have to put the work into the science of it.
Mhm.
You really do. You can't be. I hear guys saying, "If I could play piano, I'd play like Herbie Hancock." But Herbie Hancock is hard to learn how to play piano.
What's the name once again? Which new prodigy that we need to look out for?
Alfredo Rodriguez.
Alfredo Rodriguez.
He's Cuban.
Right, maybe.
And he's scary.
Maybe he's going to be sat next to us next time. Who
I
knows?
met him at 20 years old, and he's about 27 now. He's been with, we have a group called the Global Gumbo All Stars.
Wow.
11-year-old little girl that writes for symphony since she was 5 years old. And she's a genius, you know. And we have another little 15, 16-year-old guitar player from Slovakia, or Andreas Separati. It's Nikki Janowski, Canada. They're scary.
They are
California, fine Japanese Canada. They are just music the best on the face of the planet.
so much talent on the planet now. Hani, I know, is waiting to join us as well. He's been very patient. Hani, what's your question for Quincy Jones?
Well, I was just wondering, because since 1987, you've been only producing singles rather than albums. I was wondering why the stop, and if there's anything that any album, if you're going to get back to that world again.
What's the question?
Can you just repeat that question once again, Hani?
I was wondering, since the last album you produced was in 1987, and you've been producing singles ever since then, is there any chance you're going back to the album world?
I've never left the album world. Never left the album world. I did Back on the Block in 1989. You know. I did, and then we did Duke Night after that. You know. But I've never left albums. I mean, I was growing up on. I started with 78 monophonic singles. You only could put 3 minutes of sound on it, and no stereo. And we've gone to, I say, from monophonic disc to digital that. Digital will got us in trouble.
Wow.
The CDs and DVD. As much of a great invention as it is, my friends, Warren Lieberfeld was one of the creators of DVD. And, well, you know, but digital also provided them with a basis to piracy. You can make 1 million records off of a digital CD. And we're at the stage now where there is no record business anywhere in the world. 98% piracy all over the world.
Well, let's hope that we can put it right. And guys and girls all around the planet, thank you so much for hanging out with us here with Emirates Airline at the Hangout. And Quincy, here's a little gift for you from Emirates Airlines. Well done.
Thank you, man.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.